Hi everyone, our discussion for today is all about genre analysis. Earlier, you were oriented about the definition and nature of genre, along with its compositional structure and significance in the study of discourse and communication in general. But for today, at the end of the lecture, you should be able to first define genre analysis, second, recognize the role of context in genre analysis, third, examine the major stages of genre analysis, and fourth, demonstrate understanding and apply the CARS model in analyzing genre. First, let us define what genre analysis is. So, it is a research procedure of analyzing all aspects of samples of a particular genre with three major purposes. But before I proceed with the purposes, I would like to reiterate on this. In your fourth year as English language majors, you will be required to complete a thesis or a research, and genre analysis could be the research method that you may use in your approved research or approved research proposal. So it has three major purposes. The first one is to understand the social contexts in which genres occur. Second, to reveal the typical patterns of organization or compositional structures and language features of the texts of a genre in question. And third, to explain how social factors influence the structure and language features of the textual realizations of a particular genre. Let us first take a look again at context. So, in the beginning of the semester, as students enrolled in English discourse subject, it was defined that discourse is talk and text in context. That's why in my previous lesson, I was able to give an emphasis on the significance of knowing the context in which the message was crafted. And context may be defined as the circumstances that form the setting of a communicative situation in terms of which it can be truly understood. Context influences language and language variation. And because it influences language and language variation, context definitely influences the genre or the message that you are dealing with in a specific communication process. Here are the major stages of genre analysis in general as an approach in research, but later on I will present to you the specific approach using CARS model. So the major stages has seven specific stages. The first one is the selection of a corpus of text which usually no less than 30 texts. When we talk about the corpus of text, this refers to the resource or text resources or a selection of text which you will or which will be subjected to genre analysis. Say, for instance, all texts belong to a particular genre. All texts are narration. All texts are all about description or argumentation. Whatever genre that you will choose in your study or in your genre analysis research. And then, after that, you will now proceed to the analysis of the following. First, communicative aspects of a chosen genre. What are these communicative aspects? These are the communicative situation in which the text or set of texts or the corpus of texts were produced, the social context in which these were produced, the communicative purpose for the texts, the roles of genre producers and consumers, or the so-called genre roles. And then you will also analyze the communication mode and physical representation of a genre, the compositional structure of the texts of a genre in question, particularly in their formal structuring, internal functional organization, presence or absence of genre elements like titles, visuals, among others, conspicuous language features and style, like the choice of words or the syntactic structures observed in the text. You will also analyze the interrelations with other genres of the corpus of texts under genre analysis and the influence of the communicative characteristics on the compositional structure and language features of a genre in question. So generally speaking, if you are about to conduct a genre analysis using a particular corpus of texts, you need to follow these seven major stages. And so with that, let us try now to inculcate among ourselves the significance of genre analysis. Why really is it necessary for you as language majors to conduct genre analysis or to use genre analysis as a research approach? First, genre analysis helps us to learn more about communication in various spheres of life and social roots of writing. It provides a tool for investigation of all characteristics of written texts. It also allows us to reveal genre conventions of the texts, that is, their predictable, recognizable, and repeated features, or by going through or through evaluation or analysis of the compositional structure of the texts under study. And of course, the knowledge of genre conventions can help us better understand and evaluate written texts. So here is now a specific approach which you may use under genre analysis. And this approach was introduced by linguist John Swales. And he called this as a create a research space or the CARS model of research introductions. Why model of or CARS model of research introductions? It's because of the fact that this approach could be used in analyzing introductions of research works. How this introductory part or the rational part of researches are written. And in return, as students with thesis writing class in your fourth year, you could use this as a guide on how you are now going to construct your introduction in your respective research studies. And remember, the first chapter of your research has an introduction, and its title is Introduction in the CNSC Research Manual. So with that, it is completely a challenge for you to write an effective introduction. Having been able to write an effective introduction, there is an assurance that your readers will proceed with reading the entire research manuscript. But failing to write an effective introduction is also a failure in your part as researchers because you were not able to get the attention of your readers in reading your manuscript. Sometimes getting through the introduction of a research article can be the most difficult part of reading it. And in the CARS model introduced by Swales, he was able to describe three moves that almost all research introductions make. So again, in return, these notions or concepts introduced by Swales through the moves in the CARS model may also be used by you as your guideline in writing your own research introduction. After all, according to him, almost all research introductions make or follow those three moves. So here is the model. It has three moves. Move one is establishing a territory, and there are three steps, but you may only use one or two of these steps. The second move is titled as establishing a niche, which has three steps as well, but you may only choose at least one of these steps. And lastly, the third move is known as the occupying a niche, and it has three steps in general in which you may choose between step 1A or 1B. Now let us take a look at the different moves along with the specific steps in each move. For move 1, or establishing territory, in this move the author, you as the one who analyzes a corpus of text, sets the context for his or her research, providing necessary background on the topic. That's why it is known as establishing territory. So this move includes one or more of the following steps. Step 1 is claiming centrality. Step 2 is making topic generalizations. And step 3 is reviewing previous items of research. Now let us take a look at these specific steps. For step 1, or claiming centrality, the author asks the discourse community or the audience of the paper, the one who will read the research manuscript, to accept that the research about to be reported is part of a lively, significant, or well-established research area. So here, you need to claim the centrality or the research area in which the research or the corpus of text under scrutiny falls under. And here, to claim centrality, the author might write, recently there has been a spate of interest in, insert there the research area in which the corpus of text or the text under analysis falls. And then you may also write the statement, knowledge of X, whatever that research area is, has great importance, for example, in the study of coronavirus or in the study of DOH infographics on coronavirus, something like that. You simply need in this step to claim the centrality, the significance of the research area, that the corpus of text that you are studying using genre analysis is really important or of high significance nowadays. And then for step 2, making topic generalizations, here the author makes statements about current knowledge, practices, or phenomena in the field. For example, the properties of X are still not completely understood, or X is a common finding in patients with perhaps COVID-19. So here, you need to, since step 2 is still part of move 1, which is establishing territory, you need now to create topic generalizations in which the corpus of text under scrutiny fall. For step 3, reviewing previous items of research, the author relates what has been found on the topic and who found it. For example, both Johnson and Morgan claim that the biographical facts have been misinterpreted, or several studies have suggested that, or reading to children early and often seems to have a positive long-term correlation with grades in English courses. So here, you will now try to relate that what you have found in the corpus of text under study or under genre analysis were also found in previous researches. And because you are citing related literature here, you need, of course, to observe the in-text citation properly using, of course, the prescribed documentation style in the university or in the college. And then for move 2, establishing a niche. In this move, the author argues that there is an open niche in the existing research or a space that needs to be filled or a research gap through additional research. And so with that, the author can establish a niche in one of the following ways. First is counterclaiming. Here, the author refutes or challenges earlier research by making a counterclaim. For example, while Jones and Riley believe X method to be accurate, a close examination demonstrates their method to be flawed. You may also use indicating a gap. Here, the author demonstrates that earlier research does not sufficiently address all existing questions or problems. For example, while existing studies have clearly established X, they have not addressed Y. If you're going to use question raising, the author or you may ask questions about previous research, suggesting that additional research needs to be done. For example, while Jones and Morgan have established X, these findings raise a number of questions, including, and then lastly, if you are going to use continuing H addition, here, the author presents the research as a useful extension of existing research. For example, earlier studies seemed to suggest X. To verify this finding, more work is urgently needed. And for the third move under the CARS model, which is known as occupying a niche, the author turns the niche established in move 2 into the research space that he or she will fill. That is, the author demonstrates how he or she will substantiate the counterclaim made, fill the gap identified, answer the question or questions asked, or continue the research tradition. So the author makes this move in several steps. The initial step 1A or 1B is obligatory, though many research articles stop after that step. So let us now take a look at these specific steps. Step 1A or outlining purposes. The author indicates the main purposes of the current article. For example, in this article, I argue the present research tries to clarify that, or through step 1B, announcing present research. The author describes the research in the current article. For example, this paper describes three separate studies conducted between March 2008 and January 2009. After steps after choosing between step 1A or 1B, which are obligatory in nature, you may now proceed to step 2, which is announcing principal findings. Here, the author presents the main conclusions of his or her research. For example, the results of the study suggest, or when we examined X, we discovered. And then for step 3, indicating the structure of the research article, the author previews the organization of the article. For example, this paper is structured as follows. And so with that, I would like now to reiterate the three moves under the CARS model, or create a research space model. For move 1, you need to establish territory, which consists of 3 steps: claiming centrality, making topic generalization, reviewing items of previous research. And then move 2, titled establishing a niche, which has only one step, and you may do it either through counterclaiming or indicating a gap, or question raising or counting a tradition. And then move 3, occupying the niche, which has the following steps. First, outlining purposes or announcing present research, then announcing principal findings and indicating research article structure. So these 3 moves are usually the moves or the characteristics or compositional structure of a research introduction, which at the same time, as I told you earlier, could also be followed or observed by you as you now write your research introduction in 4th year. But for now, in our discourse class, please be reminded that since this is our class is all about discourse, and in the beginning you were told that you need to do discourse analysis, genre analysis is one of the approaches in discourse analysis. So with that, you will be given under this topic a number of research introductions that you need to analyze using the CARS model of genre analysis. And here are my references for this topic. Thank you.